June 2026 is not just another month for Leo. It's a threshold, a moment when something in the air begins to shift before you even understand what's happening. Already in the first days of June, many Leos feel a strange restlessness, an inner impulse that's hard to put into words but impossible to ignore, a sense that life is standing on the edge of something big. This isn't anxiety, this is anticipation. And it's completely justified because the sky is preparing you for one of the most significant astrological transits your sign has experienced in the last 12 years. But before we talk about the main event, it's important to understand the context. June 2026 unfolds against the backdrop of three major planetary forces working simultaneously. Ignoring this backdrop means seeing only part of the picture. Saturn in Aries, time to build for real. Saturn in Aries has no patience for procrastination, no tolerance for excuses, and no room for self-deception. But what it gives you is something incredibly valuable: absolute clarity. You're either building or you're not. You're either taking responsibility or you're not. No shades of gray. For Leo, this transit acts like solid ground beneath your feet. Everything you do with effort and intention right now carries weight. Saturn in Aries rewards those who act consciously and don't hide from difficult decisions. It didn't come to punish you, it came to straighten you out. Uranus in Gemini. The world is changing and you must change with it. Uranus in Gemini is a 7-year transit, and it's already reshaping how people speak, think, and interact with one another. Old formats become obsolete faster than expected. New ones appear where nobody anticipated them. On June 12th, Uranus forms an exact square with the North Node, an aspect that often coincides with unexpected world events or sudden personal turning points. Pay extra attention on this day to conversations and whatever surfaces unexpectedly. For Leo, the lesson is clear. The way you've been making yourself known, through charisma and direct presence, is no longer enough on its own. The world wants to hear your voice in places where you've been quiet. This is not a threat to your identity. It's an invitation to expand it. Jupiter enters Leo once every 12 years. On June 29th, 2026, Jupiter leaves Cancer and enters Leo, your sign. For a full year ahead, through the summer of 2027, Jupiter is the planet of growth, abundance, luck, and the expansion of horizons. Everything it touches becomes bigger, everything it illuminates begins to bloom, and once every 12 years, it comes to you. The last time Jupiter was in Leo was 2014 and 2015. Think back to that period. What was opening up? What opportunities appeared? Now a new cycle begins. The same energy, but you are a different person. You've been through more, understood more, and have far greater self-knowledge. That means you're capable of getting much more from this transit than 12 years ago. Jupiter in Leo is not quiet luck working behind the scenes. This is a spotlight. This is a stage. This is the feeling of walking into a room and people turning to look. Not because of something you did, but because something radiates from you that's impossible to ignore. Your confidence strengthens. Your creative energy surges. Your ability to inspire, to lead, to be the center of gravity. All of it rises to a new level. And most importantly, this transit lasts an entire year. June is just the beginning, the first step on new ground. But that first step sets the direction for everything that follows. The shift will be felt. Many Leos describe the moment Jupiter enters their sign as a click, when something internally falls into place, as if until now you were hearing music at half volume and someone suddenly turned it up. This is not an illusion. Your job is to be ready for it. Early June, the 1st through the 14th. The first 2 weeks are a time of inner preparation. Jupiter is still in Cancer, its influence directed inward, toward home, close relationships, and what gives you a sense of security. Allow this process to happen without rushing it. On June 13th, Venus enters Leo. The planet of beauty, attraction, and charm arrives directly to you. From this day, your charisma strengthens noticeably. People are drawn to you more strongly, relationships warm up, and creative projects receive a powerful aesthetic boost. If there's something you want to present to the world, A window opens from June 13th that is absolutely worth stepping through. Don't wait for the perfect moment. This is already it. June 14th brings the new moon in Gemini at 24 degrees. A new moon always signals a fresh start in the realm of its sign. Gemini activates communication, ideas, and the exchange of information. For Leo, this is a direct invitation. Take the step in communication you've been putting off. Write the message. Start the project. Say the idea out loud, not just in your head, but to real people. Seeds planted at the new moon sprout over the following 2 weeks, so plant intentionally. Mid-June, the 15th through the 21st. June 21st is the summer solstice. The sun enters Cancer. This is the turning point of the year. Stop. Take honest stock of the first half. What have you accomplished? What is ready for the next stage, and what do you need to let go of to make room for what's coming? Late June, the culmination. The final week of June is one of the most astrologically dense of the entire year. June 29th, 3 events happen on this single day. First, the full moon in Capricorn at 8 degrees. Capricorn is the sign of career, reputation, and long-term achievement. What you've been building for the past 6 months comes to the surface. Recognition is possible. The completion of an important chapter is possible. Second, Mercury goes retrograde at 26 degrees Cancer. Here is the most important warning. On the very day Jupiter enters your sign, Mercury turns backward. Don't sign contracts in a state of euphoria. Don't make irreversible decisions under the influence of the moment. Jupiter opens the door. Mercury retrograde says, look behind it before you step through. Third, the main event. Jupiter enters Leo, 0 degrees, an absolute beginning, a new 12-year cycle, your cycle. What Jupiter in Leo means for your life. Career and self-expression. Leo is the sign of leadership, creativity, and public presence. Jupiter literally expands your capacity to be seen and recognized. If you've wanted to take a step up, ask for a promotion, launch your own project, reach a new audience, and the coming year creates exceptionally favorable conditions. Doors open more easily. The right people appear, but remember, Jupiter amplifies what already exists. Be ready, sharpen your craft, be visible. Relationships. Jupiter in Leo makes you more magnetic. Your charisma is on the rise, your generosity increases, and the people around you feel it. If you're single, Jupiter in Leo creates the conditions for a meeting that changes everything. Don't stay home. Be where life is happening. Finances. Money comes through your expression and the recognition of your talent. Pay attention to offers arriving in the coming months, especially those connected to your creativity or leadership. They may be far more valuable than they first appear. Health and energy. Leo rules the heart and the spine, and with Jupiter here, you have more energy and vitality than you've had in years. Start something requiring physical discipline. You have the fuel for it now, just don't burn through your resources too quickly. A big year requires a steady pace, not a sprint. June 2026 is a threshold month for Leo. Saturn in Aries gave you clarity about where you stand and what needs to be built. It removed the illusions and left only what's real. And that honesty with yourself is exactly what makes you ready for what comes next. Uranus in Gemini reminded you that your voice needs to be heard in new formats, because you are more than any single way of showing up. And Jupiter in Leo is the confirmation. You are on the right path. Set goals that once felt too big. Step into spaces where you haven't been seen. Speak about what you believe, loudly and without apology. Allow yourself to occupy the place that rightfully belongs to you. The people who use this Jupiter transit well are the ones who are bold enough to show up fully. Not perfectly, but fully. 12 years ago, you were someone else. You had different fears, different limitations, different ideas about what was possible for you. Now you are ready. Jupiter in your sign confirms this in the language of the stars. The coming year is your time, and it begins on June 29th, 2026, the moment the planet of kings takes its throne in the sign